Hello, everybody. We are Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber, a movie review podcast, and my name is Alex. So nice to see you listening to us. And for those of you who are first-time listeners, welcome. Thanks for seeing our super long podcast name and still clicking play. I promise you won't regret it. Returning listeners, welcome back. Come on in. You already know where the Pop-Tarts are and the milk is, so make yourself at home. Today we are reviewing the second movie in our December lineup, Jumanji, The Next Level. It was such a blast reviewing this movie because we ourselves are kind of gamers, so, you know, things in common. But not all of us are the same level of gamers. We range from every once in a while to moderate to, okay, you either have a problem and you need to stop or keep going until you make that EA Sport money, boy. But a couple of announcements for the rest of the month. The next movie we will be reviewing will be Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which we are super excited about. And we're probably going to watch that tonight or tomorrow. I'm still super salty that Finn isn't a Jedi, but who knows? Maybe this movie will do some things. Probably not. But still, pointy, glowy sword fights are pretty great. And then at the end of the month, we will be doing a special wrap-up episode for the year. And we will be releasing that ahead of schedule so that we can make the New Year's deadline. So many deadlines. But please, enjoy the episode. We're fucking live.
Which is like a really, really bad name for a porno.
We're fucking live.
Because, how do you,
Here at Madison Square Garden, we are fucking live. And it is starting to smell. It's been 3 hours.
Or is it in that case like a really, really good name for a band?
Fucking
right?
live.
Isn't that a good punk band? That's a pretty punk name. Like, we're fucking live. Fucking live.
Or a beautiful orchestra.
And tonight, enjoy the show. This is the We're Fucking Live Symphonic.
And make sure to get our exclusive merchandise that you can wear fucking live.
All done a cappella. And we're off.
And we're off.
Welcome to the jungle. My name is
Nikanti.
That right there is...
Really? I think his name is Dr. Bravestone.
He is Dr. Bravestone.
Or is it because he's already so brave that he's actually Mouse?
Damn, you know what? That does pose a good question. Okay, first of all, we're Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Movie review podcast. And we, tonight, are reviewing Jumanji, The Next Level, our second movie in our December lineup. And,
it sounds so official when you call it a lineup.
I like it. It has a nice little flair on it.
Also, that is Nikansi.
That was Nikansi.
Yeah.
And then my name is Alex.
And then I have a name.
Which is Khan. So now that you've all gotten to know us a little bit.
I always select Ruby Rose. Sorry, Ruby Roundhouse.
As an avatar?
Ruby Roundhouse. This is the number one avatar. Easy.
Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Jumanji Next Level. Jumanji Next Level cast. All right. Well, that's fantastic. They don't have the names. Google.
Are you talking about the avatar names or the names of the actors playing the people playing the avatars playing the game?
See, I think IMBD is broken because of that. Let's go to fandom.
It might be broken. Which brings me to, are we just gonna get right into talking about all the things we enjoyed about this movie?
Let's talk about some impressions about this movie. Or no. Let's
do some impressions
because that's what this whole movie was. No, let's talk about what character you would be out of Dr. Bravestone, redheaded chick,
Ruby Roundhouse.
Ruby Roundhouse.
I would pick Ruby Roundhouse.
Okay.
I would pick Ruby Roundhouse. That's not what the game would give me, probably, though. What do you think? Like that's a very specific thing to dig into your Jumanji lore and realize that the game also picked who they would be playing.
I feel like you
right?
would, right? Because like being them would teach them a lesson about themselves,
right? Which is even weirder and more hilarious, is because it's been a trend in so many anime and manga and light novels for the last almost 15 years to get what's called isekai, which is transported to a different world, which is exactly what Jumanji is. Like, you're literally taken from your reality and put into a new one, and you have to survive. That's pretty much the basis of every single isekai anime.
So let me ask you this. So then I think there's two questions that we need to answer. You already answered half of the question. The next question is, which character would teach you a lesson about yourself? So you would pick Ruby Roundhouse. Now, which of the other characters or avatars would teach you a lesson about yourself?
Unfortunately, I am too smart.
So you would have to be the horse.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have to be literally held back from interacting with everybody else.
Because you're too smart.
Yeah.
I think I would choose... who is Aquafina's avatar?
Oh, Ming Fleetfoot.
Ming Fleetfoot, because I love to be stealthy and to pick locks. But the character that would teach me something about myself
is Danny DeVito.
Great guess. I think Dr. Bravestone. I know, guys, you're like, oh, you just gonna pick the strong guy, of course. It would teach me a lesson too, how to be strong and invincible.
Oh, jeez, Alex.
Yeah,
way to fuck it up, you non-gamer. God.
Oh, jeez. Always. Your noob talk. Okay, with your boob talk. No, I think that his straightforwardness is very not to me. I'm not very good at confrontations, and being the armor, the tank of the party would put me in a position where I'd need to put myself in the line of fire for my comrades, and I feel that would teach me to be more selfless. What about you, Nikansi?
I would be Cyclone. I'd like to choose Cyclone as my avatar.
The horse?
The horse.
Just so I could fly around.
That was really...
And horse kick up enemies like in John Wick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, over and over and over.
Yes.
The character that would help me learn more about myself, I'd have to do some kind of cheat code to be this character. But it would be Jurgen the Brutal.
Okay, why is that? That's great.
It would just really soak things up for me. Yeah, this dark inner turmoil, just unleashing it everywhere.
Just like kind of like flushing it from your system.
Yeah. So clean cycle, yeah.
I get it. Yeah, because like it's all building up inside of you, and you gotta like do... Sometimes you gotta punch.
Stop talking.
Oh, see.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, see that it just came out.
Yeah,
just came out a little bit.
Yeah,
I
spooky.
think
It's too real.
It was.
It spooked the shadows, and some of them are hidden.
And now they
skittered back,
scurried away. So let's get into some impressions about this movie.
How about this? So Danny DeVito and Danny Glover were only in the beginning of the film.
Okay.
They were barely in the movie, but they got it. The impressions were done so well.
Oh my God.
That you thought they were in the whole movie.
I really did.
How crazy is that? They weren't in the movie. They were basically saying hello and goodbye.
The Rock and Kevin Hart just acted on a whole nother level.
And
like,
Awkwafina
was great.
playing Danny DeVito.
She was meant for that.
You need to, because I watched it twice.
Oh, you watched it twice?
I watched it twice.
Yeah.
And the first time we watched it was IMAX. The second time we watched it was in 3D.
Okay.
And it was funny because the second time I really got to pay closer attention to their mannerisms. And Awkwafina, when she first is in the movie, she basically is Awkwafina.
Yeah.
But when she
was being Spencer, right?
Yeah, when she was being Spencer. But when she was Danny DeVito, her posture went from upright to this.
To slouch.
To completely slouch.
And just kind of like hobbling around everywhere.
Which is such a specific and weird thing that, like, I mean, like, you watched it twice, but, and I, for all of our podcast listeners, I watched it out of order. I didn't have the opportunity to watch the first one in time to watch.
Oh, right.
So I watched the second one, then I watched the first one. So this second movie is definitely enhanced by continuing the story of the first one. Like, it does feel like a continuation of the story. It feels a lot like you watched a show where you connected to the people playing the characters, like it was a D&D campaign. Like, you got to watch both halves of that show, right?
Yes.
And then the second episode of this show is another take of, like, so yeah, like, we're going to start a new D&D campaign, and then they do it, right? Like,
yes.
that's how my brain watched this. And unfortunately, again, I watched it out of order, but that strange, incredible on-screen chemistry was so solid from the trailers of the first one, and then getting to watch the second one, like, it was insane. Everything felt like it was so smooth and it clicked so well that I kind of had to think, like, there's no way this didn't take a bunch of takes, because they were so comfortable with each other.
It really, yeah.
Like, the jokes were flying.
Oh my God.
And especially dealing with Danny DeVito impressions and Danny Glover impressions. Like, a lot of those just scenes of Danny Glover, like Kevin Hart, and doing an impression of Danny Glover. It's so simple because it is kind of just like Kevin Hart slowing down, kind of lowering his voice.
Yeah.
But like, and then you get like a little bit of a drawl in your talk and your words. And so you start talking about how the hippopotamus
I stopped
is what, like, right?
I stopped seeing did they just die because I talked too slow?
Right? Like,
the guilt. like seriously, I stopped seeing Kevin Hart. I stopped seeing The Rock, and I saw those characters. I thought that they dubbed Danny DeVito's voice at first over The Rock.
That's freaking The Rock acting. That's how.
Yeah.
I don't think The Rock has shown as much range as he has done in this one film.
Yeah, he. Oh, in that the other movie that he did with Kevin Hart, where he was the awkward kid. He used to be fat.
Yes, CIA,
yeah.
which was also hilarious.
Which is a great movie.
I love them together.
There's so much chemistry. Jesus Christ.
I need them in like movies together forever. I never want them to
God.
separate.
Can they do the Bad Boys reboot?
They
That would be so
probably
good.
should have. No offense, Martin Lawrence.
That's not a reboot.
And Will
That's,
Smith. Yeah, that's a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean. I get you right. You're right. Yeah, the chemistry was great. And not only that, like, because they're friends off screen, you believed the friendship between, quote unquote, Danny DeVito and Danny
Glover.
Danny and Danny. Especially like when you were digging into the history of what happened between the two of them. So
yeah, that was like when they finally reconciled. Like that was a like I wasn't expecting that kind of power from a sequel. That's what I mean. I was like, that was one of the moments that they were building to, and the payout was like, yeah, I feel I feel good. Tension's gone. Yeah.
The last film I remember Danny DeVito in was the one that is just stuck in my memory is Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is a comedy, and they play twins.
I was thinking,
and Batman, where he's the Penguin.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Matilda.
See, most recently,
Matilda as well. That's right.
yeah, that's definitely Danny DeVito acting. Like as an actor, as a comedian actor, and it's very strange to see him so into pretty much being like him on It's Always Sunny. I feel like that's like such an accurate representation of like, no, Danny DeVito is like that kind of crazy all the time. Like that's normal for him, you know?
Yeah.
He has fantastic comedic timing with body language and facial expressions. I'm still laughing about when his daughter is bringing his grandson into the house and saying, "Yeah, I'm helping your grandpa right now. He just got his hip replacement. Where is he?" He's like fixing the light. He's like, she's like, you shouldn't be up there, Grandpa. Do you need help? Does that look like I need help? I got it.
He just slides down the fucking the ladder. It was so good.
One thing that definitely carries, and it really makes you start thinking about how much time the Dannys had on set with everybody, is like we were originally talking at the beginning of the pod, is that they really get body language and mannerisms on that impression. Like you really start to think, and again, this is a further tangent of like this is a video game, and the way it's written is to like you can see the avatar as well as who's using that avatar.
The facial expressions,
especially
right from The Rock,
brings it out, right? And I was talking to Siggy about it. It's like this is written so well, and it's, I mean, like in my case, it was easier to like enjoy it that way.
Yeah.
And especially in the second film, you see acting because you see them doing impressions, and the way it's written, it helps enhance like, that's not The Rock, that's Danny DeVito playing like a grandpa who is now controlling The Rock. Right? You see how it all blends together much easier.
It is acting. It's very skilled, a very high level of acting from everybody involved. Mm-hmm. Even Jack Black, he did such a good job of playing
like 3 or 4 different people, switching and flipping.
Yeah, well, not only playing a black guy, but a millennial black guy. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't doing. Because Jack Black is kind of older, but
Jack Black is he's pushing, but you know he's still young.
So what happens like a lot of the times when like people who are kind of older,
Danny DeVito,
and they do impressions of different ethnicities, they end up doing the impression of how the ethnicity acted in their time period.
It's so a little too specific in that kind of racial stereotyping.
Like, let me give you guys an example. Like if Joe Rogan did an impression of a Mexican, he'd be like, "Hey, vato, like what's going on?" And that's like a Mexican from
the 90s
in East LA.
Yeah, I was like, and in East LA, like it's
only
really
in East LA.
It's really specific to that demographic, which is
right
again. Just a whole nother level. Like again, I literally just watched it last night with Suki. Like in the first movie, unfortunately, Kevin Hart is the one who doesn't get to act as much. He, like a lot of the time, he definitely still seems like in the first movie, especially, it's like that's just Kevin Hart.
It's just Kevin Hart
being salty at everything. Like there's no other character there. It's Kevin Hart. But in the second movie, you get the impression like, oh no, that's Danny Glover, confused about how video games work, and now they're in the video game.
Yeah.
And he is that, and then later on with getting Fridge, the name of the kid, back into control of Kevin Hart. It's so funny because it like immediately doesn't click that that's Kevin Hart being Kevin Hart. the way it's written, the way you feel it out is like, oh wait, no, that's Fridge in control of Mouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I wanted Karen Gillan
Karen
Yeah.
Gillan?
or Karen Gillan.
Ruby
Roundhouse.
Roundhouse.
That's the badass name for the character.
I wanted her to be Fridge, or wanted Fridge to be Ruby Roundhouse for longer, because it was just hilarious watching Karen do. Because she did a good job too of playing a millennial black kid.
She did.
She's like, yo, this body is like a machine. Like, I was like, yo.
It was such a funny, like, yeah.
When she was jumping and kicking and just only doing that.
All right.
That's totally what I do in video games sometimes. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's literally what it was.
Yeah, jumping and kicking.
Oh man! So again, like all four of the actors did just a magnificent job of nailing down the people that they were supposed to be playing.
In particular,
Kinda crazy.
I do agree and I do respect, like, everybody like got to act. It's really weird and it's written in a specific way, like, but you still get to see them doing all those things, and it was fun. And special props to Jack Black, because what kind of like middle-aged older white man do you think can pull off being a teenage girl as well as a millennial teenage black kid?
Yeah,
like,
it's
and
the difference.
like it's so funny, just like being stuck in a video game at that one point, like, and being that, like, just amazing video games.
What else do you guys want to add before we get into our badass moments?
My favorite surprise was when Aquafina showed up.
Oh yeah, dude.
I didn't know she was in this movie.
Me neither.
I was like, what? That was a good surprise.
She was really quiet about it.
Yeah,
and it was a bigger role than I was in. Like, it was bigger than Nick Jonas in the first movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's became one of the main characters.
Yeah.
But it was freaking hilarious. I was like, she's in this movie? That's amazing.
Yep.
And then, like, about like 5 seconds or 10 seconds after, I realized, like, wait, that was Aquafina. What? Again, the way that this movie was written, you kind of know, like, yeah, you get into the mindscape of that as an avatar being controlled by somebody else.
By Danny DeVito.
Right? So, like, Aquafina was being controlled by Spencer, and I was like, on one hand, we mentioned earlier, like, is kind of what we expect from, like, Aquafina's on-screen performances. But at the same time, it's like, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. That's the kid from the beginning of the movie who's, like, kind of, in a problem with a power trip and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I feel for him. I feel for you, Aquafina. I relate.
I freaking enjoyed the heck out of this movie. Watching it with my sister, she was like, when she really laughs. And she was dying. She was laughing so hard that she got everyone around her. I couldn't stop laughing.
She was,
and then the audience was laughing. Like,
the sister of our of the podcast. She's what you would call a hard laugh. It's hard to get her to laugh.
But it's a hearty laugh too.
But when you get her to laugh,
you hear it like,
yo, she's dying. So I think that just goes to show. If you guys have like anybody in your life who is a hard laugh, take them to go watch this movie. They'll fucking enjoy it.
And if they don't, I'm sorry. Our expectations were, I think, aimed pretty well.
I want to talk about my badass moment. Right off the bat is when the ostrich stampede goes down and they're running away in the dune buggies, and Danny DeVito just steps up as Dr. Bravestone, right? And
sorry, I'm just like, we refer to the person playing the character,
Yeah.
right? Like, it was,
but Danny DeVito isn't in there.
right? It's like,
yeah, I guess Dr. Bravestone, he is funny, and I guess you kind of get a feel for what. Can we get the name of Danny DeVito's character?
Eddie.
Eddie?
Grandpa Eddie.
Okay, Grandpa
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah.
You kind of get a sense of what Grandpa Eddie used to be when he was younger. Kind of like that take charge. All right, this is the situation. He's that chef in the kitchen. All right, everybody, this is what we got to do. So you saw that from Grandpa Eddie. Like, all right, get in the fucking car. We're driving off. And you just see that element of him. So you were like, fuck yeah, Grandpa Eddie. Like, that's what I liked about that moment.
I'm trying to separate my what the fuck moments from badass moments.
Yeah,
that's a pretty bad, bad problem. Which I thought was a funny joke, but now that I've watched the first one, I understand that it's a continuation of the joke, which is dance fighting ? When Karen Gillan gets her badass fight scene sequence, I was like, wait, this is just fucking cool. This is like that was badass. And then watching it in the first movie, I was like, wait, that's a skill? And like it clicked as a completely different joke, unfortunately, because I watched that as sequence.
Right.
But it was still one of my favorite badass moments of like, so I was trying my smoldering intensity there. Sorry. I don't think
we
it
weren't
worked.
making
Yeah.
like it doesn't work. I felt a heat to my left.
That's why I was.
So that's probably what that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dance
That's
fighting.
good. Ooh, I got chills. What was yours?
Which was just another hilarious joke that I didn't understand until I watched the first movie because I was confused. Again, smoldering intensity in the second movie is still a well done joke, but part of that joke's punchline is the fact that, I mean, like in the first movie, they're like, "What the hell is smoldering intensity?" And then the girls are quivering, right?
Yeah.
And then in the second movie, it's like, "Grandpa, you're using it all wrong. Like, what are you smoldering intensity for?" And then. And
It's
then
kind
at
of
the
like
end of the movie, it worked. It was like, what?
It's kind of like when Joey from Friends learned air quotes. Do you remember what you got
Damn
for us?
it.
My badass moment was when we found out that Jurgen the Brutal killed Dr. Smolder Bravestone's parents.
Yes. And then he was like, "What?"
And
What?
The Rock with his mustache. The music goes dun dun, and The Rock's like,
Oh man, it's so good. It was great.
God, the best part about that is the follow-up scene right after where it's The Rock doing his Danny DeVito impersonation. They killed my parents.
This guy killed my parents. And you know what's great is when like Grandpa Eddie was like getting sold in the story. He's like, "Oh, I think that's my ex."
yeah.
You gotta explain that to me again.
That was freaking. That's how like your grandparents get when they first start learning how to play a video game again.
Yeah, and they start getting into it.
Yeah.
You start like, "Yeah, fuck yeah,"
And they're like, oh.
all right, I'm getting this. I'm getting this. All right.
Which is why I brought up D&D, is that like, and this is just a really good like the way that it's written like a D&D campaign, except you're witnessing people like, how do I connect to my character? Oh wait, you mean he killed my parents? I can't do my Danny DeVito voice late at night.
I think that's my ex. I gotta go chase her. All right. Let's get into number ratings. I am going to give this movie, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
Yes. I would absolutely watch it again. I would recommend it to anybody. And
Pause/follow-up. Did we review Jumanji 1 on the podcast?
we didn't somehow.
I don't think
Okay.
we did.
Yeah.
What would you give the first Jumanji?
Yeah.
I'd give that a 9 out of 10.
See.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I think it's only because the kids like Spencer and Fridge and all the other the Bethany and what was the girl's name? Martha. Their stories were a lot more rich in that movie. Although Grandpa Eddie and his friends' story was really good in this movie, the kids
it helped it supplemented it, like it made it bigger and stronger.
it was almost like when you go to dinner and then the appetizer is better than the entree. You know what I'm saying? Because Grandpa Eddie's story was actually way better than the kid's story. You're like, ah.
It was, but the reason why we were invested with Grandpa was because we were invested with the kids already.
100%.
Yeah.
Again, right? You can't have the appetizers without the entree, but sometimes the appetizers are more yummy than the entree.
Because friggin', I'm gonna be honest, I enjoyed the second one more than I enjoyed the first one.
Okay.
I did enjoy the first one, but I thought that there were some parts that they could have shortened. But for the second one, I wanted it to be longer. Well, I'm ready for the third one. The second
third
one
looks great.
The second one made me ready for the third one.
Yeah.
The first one, like, got me excited for another one, but the second one really made me ready for the third one because all of the people that are gonna be in the next film.
Yeah. I agree.
They just turned. It already had a fantastic cast from the beginning,
Right.
With only just the 4 main stars, but then they amplified it with Danny DeVito, Danny Glover, and Awkwafina. And at the very end, one of my favorite New Girls cast members.
Edit here.
Did you
I
see
forget
the
her
credits?
name. I forget the name. Yeah, I forget her name.
Did you stay
That's
for the
like-
after the credits?
No.
It was mid credits. You missed it?
Yeah.
Wait,
that's why I was like,
the
you're-
ostrich?
Yeah. So you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stampede.
Yeah, so you saw it.
Yeah. Are you talking about the old lady?
No. I'm talking about the black guy.
That's why I said edit here because
Whoa.
I forget the name of the actress.
Was he in the first
but
Jumanji?
like-
It's Winston from New Girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Okay.
yeah, that's
No,
right.
you're right. Yeah.
He's going to be in the next one.
That's why I was just like,
That's why I paused. Was like, I forget his name.
when I saw that it was Winston or Lamorne,
Lamar.
Okay.
Lamorne Morris. When I was talking to Patty, I was like, oh, there's gonna be a third one because I'm like, they're not just gonna bring him in at the end credits and that's all his role's gonna be.
Okay, funny side note.
Okay.
Did you watch the one with Robin Williams?
100%.
Okay.
So good.
What they did was they took Robin Williams and they just made it into multiple movies. Because in the first movie, near the end is when the board game goes into the real world. Now, finally, at the end of the second one, the video game goes into the real world.
Yeah. No, oh, and they did a show. There was an animated.
I watched it.
It was
totally
great.
watched it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when like the animated spin-offs, like Aladdin, the animated spin-off
We're good.
was so good.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous and it's super dope fight scenes and shit. And even remember Buzz Lightyear?
I did.
The spin-off?
Yeah.
That one was really good.
That was way better than people thought it was going to be.
They had animated
God.
films for that TV show as well.
For
Buzz Lightyear.
well, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Man, what's your number rating?
I give both of them 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10s.
Both of them.
Mr. Khan? Khan?
There's like 2 8s, 88s,
Oh,
808s,
shit.
heartbreaks.
Double infinity.
Bam, 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 bam. I give the first one a 9 out of 10. That one immediately solidified itself as a classic for me.
Yes.
And so it's really, really weird to also give the second one if I could give half points, 9 out of 10.
Oh, 2 9 out of 10.
Damn.
Because the thing is that if I watched them in sequence, they would definitely still be better. I think there's no question in my mind. If I had watched the first one, then watched the second one, I would have had more fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. I feel like I'm in the niche audience already. Like I like games, I like D&D, I loved Jumanji with Robin Williams. Like it's all the things I was
going to ask you. Yeah. Do you feel
Right?
like they did a good service
This
to
is
games?
this is why I'm ranting all over this place, is because it's so insane. I bet you they didn't think that they were going to make a sequel.
I don't think they did either.
Yeah, they didn't think, like, they put that movie together with so much confidence and then showed it to, like, like whatever screen tests, and it did well.
Mm-hmm.
It did insanely well. And then they also, or maybe it didn't do insanely well. I can't remember exactly. Don't quote me on that part. The point is that, and then they released it to the public, and the public blew it up.
Yeah.
Jumanji, the first one, was insane. And again, us included, like, it's amazing. It is such a good style of a video game movie.
Yeah.
You know?
I just love that they instead of trying to milk the kid story, they did another set of characters story, what they were going through and how the game was helping them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was an actual growth.
Yeah.
Instead of like just milking something.
Yeah.
Right? And again, Spencer has a actual moment of just psychologically speaking, complete weakness, and then trying to find something that he can go back to that he wants to take more power in. And so he goes back to Jumanji, which is unfortunately insane. Literally.
Yeah.
And of course, Jumanji is broken. So
oh my gosh.
that's the entire plot of the second movie, by the way. But like, and then again, they both get 9s for me. The second movie gets only a slightly lower score for me personally, is because I probably watched them out of order. It's probably because I watched them out of order.
Yeah, you probably feel
like,
differently if.
But I still enjoyed the video game movie that they gave us, and again, it's like watching episode 2 of a D&D campaign, then going back and watching episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching Star Wars episode 4 and then watching episode 3. Even though they were shot in a completely different order, it feels weird. It's really, really weird, is what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
But in this particular instance, I loved them both, and
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
both
cool.
get
I
9s.
bet the writers would be super pleased to hear that like, someone who's like hardcore into games enjoyed this movie. So
Mad respect to my man Jack Black, though.
yes.
Like it is so. He didn't carry the movie. He carried his own weight. Everybody did well in both movies, but it is so funny to see Jack Black emote and harness the teenage girl in the first movie.
Oh my god.
And then in the second movie to harness, like, I am a salty as fuck millennial
black boy.
black athlete.
Yeah.
I am pissed.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
Yo.
Fucking disgusting. God
I'm
damn.
the map guy.
Right?
So good.
Like-
it wasn't a cheesy black impression. It was a good impression.
Right? And again, it's like, when you think about it, when you get forced into a situation of in like game aspects, right? You're like, fuck, I want to be the guy with the goddamn guns, and now I'm the guy who carries the fucking guns. Like, shit, what the fuck is zoology? Oh, well, hippopotamuses. And then in the second movie, again, you get that feeling for Fridge's character of like, this is, I wouldn't fucking pick this character, and now I'm the fucking map guy. Like,
Freaking when Fridge was finally back as Kevin Hart. His character, he was so excited. He's like, see, look at this. I told you I could get the equipment.
This
right
was
here.
I'm the backpack guy. Come on, man.
It's the funniest. It's the funniest. Like I know exactly how to play this job. I can do it. I know exactly what. Look at this. What's that? You wanted a gun? Did you know that we had a gun in the backpack?
Oh, bro. You know what? I just thought about the whole cake joke. For you. I'm so sad that you watched it out of order, because you probably went back and then watched him explode from a cake. And then you're just like, oh, that's why everybody was dying.
But it was still hilarious when he was watching him react to the cake. It was still funny.
He was like, yeah! Just... It was great.
Which was really, really fun. Like, I wish I got to see it with Cheebs and hear the audience reacting to her. But me and Nakansi sat next to this little kid and his like uncle or his grandpa or his dad. I couldn't tell. Some guy, point being, like, they were both like that was like a huge age gap, and they were both laughing, and it wasn't just like the kid laughing and then the older man reacting to it, right? It was like they would both laugh at something, and they would both just look at each other, and then like the little kid looked at me too, and because me and Myron were laughing all the time, like it like I can only imagine how the first film would have felt watching it in an audience with people and reacting to those jokes that well, you know.
Before we get into our what the fuck moments, I have some fun facts for us.
Oh, Nakansi's fun facts.
So, the Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, had a budget of $90 to $150 million, and its box office was $962 million worldwide. It became the 5th highest grossing film of 2017 and the 40th highest grossing film of all time.
Damn.
Which explains why we got such a full-blown, fantastic sequel.
Yes.
Just like before you continue on any of that, think about the weight that the cast and crew had to deal with of like, how do we reimagine Jumanji with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
And keep that kind of integrity and tell a different story, and just, you know, again, they don't want to reboot it, they want to reimagine it, right? And then again, they didn't expect it to blow up that well, I guess.
Yeah.
Because then we get the second film,
which had a budget of 125 to 132 million.
Ooh.
And as of right now, it's only been out since Thursday.
Right.
So only 4 days, and it has already made more than its budget with 212.6 million.
Damn.
And it's only been 4 days. We still got the rest of the
December,
the Christmas
yeah.
holiday.
They already
where
making profits.
People are going to be running to the theaters.
And who knows how long they'll keep it on a theater run too. You
Okay.
know, like some movies definitely you're like, nobody watched it that month, and then they watched it 3 months afterwards. Like, why is that still in theaters?
I wanna touch on my what the fuck moment. And I want to touch on the original film and the element of danger that came with the jungle animals. How they were unnaturally powerful than a regular jungle animal would be in a modern setting. They can stampede through entire homes. Fuck walls, those are nothing. They could just run right through them. Anacondas are ginormous. They can take entire cop cars and fold them in half. And in this movie, they did a really good job. I'm going to touch back to the ostrich chase, the stampede in the beginning. There was a moment where the ostriches were pecking at the roof of the Razor, or the Doom buggy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think the more accurate name is the Razor. And they just are pecking through the roof of this like sheet, this thick sheet metal, and then they eventually like tear it off. So you, as the audience member, you feel the danger that these avatars are in. You are just as scared as these avatars are, and not only that, they are intelligent animals. And that was what the element of Jumanji was, is that the jungle is dangerous and it's intelligent.
It's mystifying.
It's
all of these things. And piggybacking off of that, not necessarily what the fuck moment, but like, it's really specific and weird. And again, I mentioned anime having these isekai is a genre. But it's such a big thing that it's just considered its own genre now, where you are teleported some way, generally in the isekai anime and manga. Like, you die in the real world and then you go to a different world. Or in some cases, it's like with Dot Hack, like you're stuck in the online world, but your real body's in a coma. Same thing with Sword Art Online.
Right.
The general consensus is you're not in your world anymore. And so it's really specific, and in the second movie, it's kind of more of a comedic timing to the death. But in the first movie, you definitely get the sense of like, holy fuck, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
And then dead. What? And then they fall out of the sky like, what? But it was used in the second movie for more comedic timing, and not so much as like end of the world feeling.
Yeah, I agree. That's the environment that they built for you. Just this real danger that again it gets you invested in what is going on, what their situation is. Mr. Nekanse, what is your moment of the fuck
Yes.
of what?
Yes.
I'm not ballless, guys. I got balls. I got. No, you don't.
Fridge, swallow your pride.
You don't.
Swallow
It's
your pride.
okay.
You mean they're still with you? Yeah.
In
Spirit.
In spirit.
You. The guy in the back's like, yeah. You are a strong eunuch. Thank you.
With you in spirit,
Yeah,
my friend.
with you in spirit.
which again is tantamount to like them embodying those impressions for
Testicle mount?
testy mount.
Testy mount, thank you.
Testy mount.
Go ahead.
To the like impressions and like that acting that they did. You at that particular moment you get the sense of like you can see both see both Jack Black as well as this teenage girl trying to like
Bethany.
Jack Black as in the actor, but also you can see the role of Bethany being Shelley Oberon to telling like, you know, Fridge, Kevin Hart, Mouse Finbar. I said all these characters' names because I have a great memory, yes. It's because it's a video game. And just like you can see it where it's like you can see both of these things going on where it's just like, I bet you that they did. That was the one good take. I bet you that he cracked up so many times, just like trying to look at Kevin like, no, you don't have your balls.
I really want to see
Kevin Hart just being like, I have balls. I got balls.
I got balls, mother. I think this might be why I would buy the DVD just for the bonus features. We don't get bonus features on Netflix. I said Netflix, weird.
No, I mean, did you say
We do
testy?
not get bonus features on Netflix.
We don't. We need Amazon Prime gives you bonus features.
Really?
They do.
Wow.
If you hit pause, they'll put the names of the actors that are playing.
That's pretty dope.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is dope.
It's pretty dope. Anyway,
Pretty dope.
In particular,
yes.
my what the fuck moment for the second film
Yes.
was when again, if you've seen the first film and then you see the second film, it makes sense that they waited for a while because they've already been there. They don't need to double check skills, right?
Right.
So for me, I was like, oh shit, they have menus? Oh shit, they have weaknesses? And then I kept thinking, when they show Bethany and Alex returning in-game as the pilot, Seaplane, and the horse, Cyclone,
Right.
played by a horse, and Nick Jonas. The point being that, like, when they return, I was like, no, I know Nick Jonas was in the first movie. Did they give him more weaknesses? What are his skills? What like I didn't know his skills from the first movie. And then I immediately after I was like, why is there a fucking horse? What the fuck is a horse gonna do?
Why the fuck? Yeah.
Like these are all my what the fuck moments. Is like a fucking horse. Is the horse gonna do goddamn dance fighting kung fu too? And then later on we get the beautiful moment that should not be spoiled for anybody.
No.
But that was my pinnacle. Like, yeah, video games, man. This is good shit.
Fucking
Great.
video games. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to our podcast today. Make sure you guys follow us. That is the sound of Junior satisfied with the taste of our podcast today. It tasted good today.
It was very good. Not too salty.
Not too salty. No, actually.
Yes.
Make sure you follow us at HSTSC33 on Instagram and Twitter. Talk to us, interact with us. You guys can look at our stories, and we will put up polls on there so that you guys can tell us what you thought about the movies that we review.
Comment on our tweets that I design, asking for questions like who's got your back, who's on your team.
Mm-hmm.
With the right support, you can do anything. Which is a throwback to the fact that, like, really, do you see how much equipment Kevin Hart lost when freaking Milo, Danny Glover is playing it? Like, that guy had so much loot and it's gone to the wind, thrown out forever.
Super upset
the
about
video
it.
game in me, the gamer in me was like, Alex as a non-gamer wouldn't understand what had just been lost, but as a gamer myself, look at all that loot. There was an RPG in that goddamn backpack.
I have no idea what they would have done with the bazooka against that stampede of ostriches.
Well, I mean, apparently they they still got used, but just not in proper way. But anyway, you should follow me at twitch.tv/Cookie Ninja Carve, where you can also interact with me talking about stupid things like, why didn't I use the pocket knife when I had a shiv in my back pocket the whole time, and I didn't dual wield them with my pinky toes.
I didn't even know you had dual wielding.
I know. I thought that I only had welding, not even wielding, right?
Yeah, that's
completely
true.
Different skill.
Which I guess you could have just welded yourself a weapon with your welding skills.
I mean, if I leveled up my bioengineering, my biochemistry, by biology science skill high enough, I could have probably just combined it with my welding to weld weapons to my arms.
And then you could have had bio weapons.
Which is a Resident Evil reference.
Or the Pilgrims. Or the Spaniards against the Aztecs. All right, I'll stop it.